G'day family, friends and followers. Welcome to another preserving video from Sweeney's Creek Farm. Today's product is going to be some of my favourite, which is tomato relish. We're in tomato season at the moment and we would love to be using our own tomatoes, but with our drought conditions at the moment and a few other issues, particularly with nearly 2 inches of rain that came down in a heck of a hurry and split all of our tomatoes, unfortunately we have not had a crop of our own. So we have sourced a supply of really lovely locally grown tomatoes that we've been able to get hold of, and we're going to process them up into some relish. The first part of the process is to get all the tomatoes and the onions chopped up. This doesn't have to be too fine, just enough to get them open. The central core of the tomato is taken out because it's fairly tough and woody and we don't want that in the relish. So the central part is discarded. That's gone into the chook bucket and the chooks are going to get a lovely meal out of that very, very soon. Inside this pot here we have the chopped up tomatoes and onions. They've been salted overnight. The salt actually sits in there and extracts all the liquid out. That liquid is discarded and then the remaining material left behind with tomatoes and onions then goes into the relish. So it's going to be a simple process now of running it through a sieve, and we'll start off by getting a bit in there. The liquid, as it's highly salty, is of no use and simply gets discarded. The next part of the process is to cover the tomatoes and onion in vinegar. Now we use a malt vinegar, and this brand is actually Skipping Girl, which is an iconic Australian vinegar made down in Melbourne, and it's one of my favourites to use. So we add in the vinegar, we add in the sugar, a little bit of sugar, we bring that up to the boil, and then we mix in our spices. The spices that we add are mustard powder, curry powder, and a little bit of cayenne pepper just to give a bit of kick. We'll add these in, we'll bring it up to the boil, we'll get the spices in, and then it's got to cook for and boil away for a bit over an hour. During that time, I'll get the jars prepared and ready and sterilised, and then we're ready to jar it all up. After it's boiled for an hour, mix some cornflour and water and add some of the hot liquid from the relish. Mix this through as a thickening agent. The last step of the process is to now get the relish into the jars. The jars have been put through the dishwasher and washed. They've come out into an oven at 150 degrees Celsius. So all we have to do now is get them into the jar and get them sealed and let them cool. You might notice a temporary funnel that I've got here, a modified one from a funnel I had in the kitchen. We're still waiting for our official one to come through, so this one will do the job. And as you can see, everything is hot as it goes in. The jar is hot. The relish itself is extremely hot. Get it up near the top. Making sure that we clean the rim to make sure that it seals properly. Funnel makes it much easier to keep that part of it clean. And then a matter of sealing. Yeah. And then as you place them out to cool, make sure that you don't put them too close to each other to allow for good airflow and allow them to cool down quickly. The final step on the process is to just allow these jars then to cool down. Now these have a button on top that indicates vacuum sealing. So as they're cooling down, you'll hear a nice little click as the button goes down. And if after the cooling off period that they haven't depressed, like this one here. So that one is not vacuum sealed. That one just goes straight in the fridge to be used first. And the ones that have sealed are right to store in the cupboard. Thanks very much for following along. I hope you enjoyed the video. Recipe down below in the description. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're enjoying the channel, please subscribe and come along on the journey with us. Thanks very much. See you later.